So for the school that I went to, I had to drive like 2 hours from my interview. So y'all can imagine, if I wouldn't have got it, I would have been pissed. And it was raining. And I was lost. My name's Cleela and welcome back to my channel. So today is day 5 of Vlogmas. But yeah, y'all, so today is day 5 of Vlogmas. And I thought that since I've been giving you guys vlogs, like the past 4 videos have been vlogs, I thought I could give y'all a content video. A big piece of my channel is mental health. I am a mental health therapist, and she knows I'm filming. Why are you barking? She knows I'm filming. So anyways, I am a mental health therapist. That is a big piece of my channel. It's a big piece of my life. And a lot of the DMs and comments that I get on YouTube are mental health related. I love that. I love that you guys trust my advice, and I love helping y'all out. I love it. I love it. I love it. So there are a few reoccurring questions in my DMs related to mental health and in my comments. And I wanted to go over one of those questions with y'all. Very frequently, I am asked about the licensure process and the exact steps that it takes to become a licensed professional clinician or a licensed professional therapist. So today we are going to break all of that down.
Bust it down.
So y'all want to know the exact steps that it takes to become a therapist? Stay tuned. First and foremost, you have to get a bachelor's degree. So you have to go to a university or a college and go to school for 4 years in something related to mental health. I got my degree in psychology. I went to North Carolina A&T for 4 years, and I got a degree in psychology and a minor in family studies and child development. Social work is also a good major to get if you're looking to become a therapist. I want to emphasize this. That does not mean that you have to get your major in psychology or social work to become a therapist. By any means. I was in my master's program with people who used to be lawyers, in the military, professors, librarians, actresses. You do not have, y'all, you do not have to get your degree in psychology or social work. It just helps with your application when you're trying to get your master's, but it doesn't stop anything. It does not stop anything. So while you are getting your 4-year degree, I suggest that you do things like internships and volunteer and join extracurriculars. You want to build your college resume so that when you're ready to get your master's or when you're ready to get a job, they see that you did things other than just go to class all day. People want a well-rounded candidate. They don't want someone who just has A's and B's. They want to know that you can be a leader. They want to know that you know how to work with others. You know how to go to work. You know how to follow this. You know how to do that. You know how to take this direction. They want to see that you were a part of something where you had to step up and display the character traits that they're looking for. They also want to see that you have some experience. So since we can't work, we have to get internships. So your senior year, your junior year, just get one internship. You can go to counseling centers or daycares or group homes. Something related to helping others and servicing others. You can also ask your advisor if they know of any opportunities or internships that will help you build your college resume. Also, you want to be a part of an extracurricular activity on campus. I was vice president of the NAACP, and I was also treasurer of the NAACP. I also was a mentor in the honors program, and I got involved in some other things. So colleges like to see that you know how to be a leader and that you know how to be engaged with others. So even if you don't want to be like a vice president or something, just join something. Be a part of something that you can put on your college resume. Because going to class every day is nice. But like I said, people want a well-rounded candidate. Also, talk to your professors outside of class time. Talk to them, because your master's degree or your job is gonna want references. They're gonna wanna know that people know you and that people can vouch for you, can vouch that you have a good work ethic. So you're gonna need about 3 people to say good things about you, whether that be your advisor, an employer, a professor, someone who is a part of the extracurricular activity that you chose. You're gonna need people who can vouch for you. So start networking, start talking to people, ask questions. Just ask them, like, how did you get to where you are today? What master's program do you suggest I do? Do you have any advice for me as an aspiring counselor? Y'all, network. So after you get your bachelor's degree, you're probably gonna have to take the GRE. That is a standardized test for graduate students. So the SAT is for high school students getting into college, and the GRE is typically for college students trying to get into a master's degree. Study, y'all, study. I didn't study, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I did not study for the GRE. So the first time I did horrible. It was disgusting. It was repulsive. I could have threw up on the scene. I was just frazzled. But honestly, I expected it. I didn't study one bit, y'all. I did not study for that test, so I couldn't have expected anything less. So I took it a second time, and I didn't study again.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But there's this theory that if you take a test twice, you're gonna do good the second time regardless. And that's exactly what happened, y'all. That's exactly what happened. I just did better. The score was just better. I don't suggest that you just keep taking the test because it costs about $250. And it's 4 hours. You're sitting there for 4 hours. Like, don't nobody want to do that. So just study. Just study. Don't be like me. Study. But I didn't study, and I took it twice, and I got into grad school. I got into a really good K-CREP accredited grad school. So, but I'm also really smart, okay? I'm also really smart. But after you get your GRE scores back, you can apply to any college you want, any master's program you want. I would suggest applying to about 3, just so if one doesn't work out, you have another one. And I wouldn't suggest to applying to a bunch because it could get expensive. The application fees, you gotta pay to send your transcripts, you gotta pay to send your GRE scores. It's money every step of the way. So y'all, don't worry about applying like 5, 6, 10. I would apply to 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Just so you're not breaking the bank. And apply to schools that you feel like you can get into. But don't settle. So after you send off all of your applications, schools will start calling you back or emailing you back. And some schools, they be having interviews, okay? So for the school that I went to, I had to drive like 2 hours from my interview. So y'all can imagine, if I wouldn't have got it, I would have been pissed. And it was raining. And I was lost. So yeah, usually they're gonna want you to come on campus. They're gonna wanna meet you because graduate programs are very selective. It's not like they enroll about 200 to 300 people like college. My program only accepted 8 people and there were 100 applicants. So they really want to know you. They really want to know you as a person. Everything matters. It's not just the grades. It's who you are, what you bring to the table. Because like Harvard, for instance, when someone tells you they are a Harvard graduate, you look at them a certain way. You perceive them a certain way. You're like, oh, they went to Harvard? Oh, they must be smart. Oh, they must got some money. Like, you perceive them a certain way. And these college master's programs want that same reputation. They want people who say they went to their school to act a certain way, to be a certain way. Not necessarily be like the perfect person or anything, but just be a person that they are proud of, who they are proud to say they trained this person and they helped this person become the therapist they are today. So they're really gonna want to get to know you, okay? So typically there will be an interview process, and not all schools have interviews. I can say that the schools that are harder to get into may have you jump over more hurdles and stuff, like interviews and more applications and paperwork. But just because that school doesn't have an interview process doesn't mean that it's not a good school. But there is not always an interview process, and you don't always have to take the GRE either. There are programs where you don't have to take the GRE and you don't have to have an interview. And they will tell you this information on their website. It will usually say no GRE needed or no interview process. It will usually say something. And a lot of people tend to go for those colleges because who wants to do all that? Who wants to do all that? We all about to have the same degree. So why go through a harder process? Some people think like that, and I feel it. I'm here for it. So if you don't want to take the GRE, don't. I didn't want to, but I really wanted to get into NC State and they wanted the GRE. But if you don't have to take it, don't take it. And if you don't have to take an interview, don't do an interview. Don't nobody be wanting to sit there looking all like, just don't do it if you don't want to. You don't have to, but I'm just letting y'all know some schools gonna make y'all. So after the applications and the GREs and the interviews, you are now in grad school and you are working to become a mental health therapist. So while you are in grad school, network, y'all, network, because your job's gonna want references. And you can, but I mean, going all the way back to college to get those when you was in a whole nother degree may look kind of weird. So new networking, new references. So your program may be between 1 to 3 years. So for those years, just reach out to people, talk to your professors, talk to your advisor. Just get in their good graces so that when you need them to vouch for you, they're gonna vouch for you. And your program will probably have an internship set up for you, because that is a part of the curriculum in most grad programs for counseling. So you don't have to worry about going to find your own internship. Usually your school will help you with that process. For your internship, you're still going to have to apply and interview and do all that good stuff. But your college will probably give you a few contacts to reach out to. That's what mine did. So while you're in grad school, just soak it all up. Soak it all up, because this is vital information. They're not feeding you all the BS and the filler stuff like college, like the general courses and all that. No, this is stuff that you need to know. This is stuff that you can use later in the back of your head. So soak it up, and it won't be a bad process. You'll be interested in this stuff. It'll be very intriguing. You'll be like, what? Our brain does what? When what? People do what because of what? People project this because of this. Like, it really teaches you about people. It teaches you about children. It teaches you about interpersonal skills. It teaches you new coping skills. It teaches you how to be happy. Like, it's really lit. I loved grad school. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Also, while you are in grad school, be preparing for the NCE. That is the National Counselor Examination. There's also another one that I don't remember the acronyms for, but I'm gonna leave them right here. That is another standardized test that counselors can take. You can take either one. I took the NCE. I would personally recommend asking your advisor what's best for you. Just telling your advisor what your career goals are, and they'll tell you which test is best for your career and your path. The NCE was best for my path. So for my last year of grad school, I studied for the NCE. Let me correct that. For your last year of grad school, you should study for the NCE. I didn't, because I'm lazy. I am so lazy. Yo, I hate studying. I never really had to study. Like, schoolwork just came natural to me, always. SAT, didn't study. GRE, didn't study. NCE, didn't study. Like, y'all, it's just not for me. I've always gotten by without studying, but if I have to study, I will, okay? But a lot of times I just don't have to, and I've gotten really accustomed to that. I got spoiled. So for your last year of grad school, I would suggest studying for the NCE or whatever exam you choose to take, because that exam is what's going to get you licensed, and that license is what's going to get you jobs and clients and money. So this standardized test is the most important test of your career. Because I didn't study, I didn't pass. I missed the passing score by 2 points. I was so mad. I was so upset, y'all. If I would have just studied for like a week or a month, I would have gotten 2 points. Y'all, I was so upset. I was hurt, but I couldn't blame anyone but myself. So y'all, make sure y'all study. So I failed the test, and I wasn't able to take it for another 6 months. So I was really upset. I wasn't able to get the same pay as the licensed clinicians at my job. It was really frustrating. So 6 months later, I took the NCE again, and I passed with flying colors, y'all. I went above the passing score by a lot because I studied this time. I took about 3 months to study, and I wasn't studying a lot like crazy. I was just, you know, in my downtime taking my book everywhere I went. When I got my nails done, I was reading. Downtime, I was reading. Before bed, I was reading. And I also got an app on my phone that instead of scrolling on Instagram, I was on the app, because the NCE has a book that is specialized for the test, and they also have an app that is specialized for the test. So I was on that app instead of Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. And also, instead of listening to music, I was listening to the audiobooks. I had audio of the NCE book. So instead of listening to music, I was listening to him tell me what I needed to know about being a therapist and what was on the NCE and about different theories, all that. So by the time I took that test, y'all, it was easy, because I would have passed the first time if I just would have studied for like a couple days, y'all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, so after I took the NCE seriously, I passed with flying colors, y'all. So study. The exam is a little hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's not common sense. Like the GRE, it's kind of like, you know, we've been doing this forever. It's just math, reading, science, English. It's just a really cohesive exam of everything you've been learning since you were in kindergarten. But the NCE is a specialized exam. Something you would have had to be in this course to know. Something you would have had to be in a program geared toward this to know. So it's not common sense. So study for that exam. So after you pass your exam, you will be associate licensed. And what that means is you are a licensed clinician who is being supervised. And that just means that although you went to school, although you graduated, although you took the test, although you got the job, you're still being supervised. So basically every 2 weeks you're checking in with someone to just make sure everything is going good. Because ultimately you're a new clinician, and your supervisor and your job just needs to make sure everything's okay and make sure everything's going smoothly. So we have to do that for about 2 years. But to be more specific, Chanel, stop! But to be more specific, you need 2,000 direct hours. So you have to be seeing clients for 2,000 hours. But if you work a job that makes you work about 40 hours every 2 weeks, that's easy. You're gonna get that done within 1 to 2 years. Because if you're working 40 hours every 2 weeks, 2,000 is gonna come before you know it. It also depends on what state you live in, but most states do want about 2,000 hours of direct hours. Aside from direct hours, your state is also going to want you to see a supervisor for a certain amount of hours before you are fully licensed. That number will depend on your state. I think in the state of Georgia, we need about 1,000 supervision hours. So like I said, this process will probably take you about 1 to 2 years. And then after your supervisor signs off and says, yep, she's good, I've been supervising her, she's a great therapist, you've been working your jobs and blah, 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 adding up all them hours, you are good to go. You send that information to the board. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all something. You also have to apply to be associate licensed. So aside from the NCE, you also have to submit an application. And that application could take some time. So before you graduate, make sure you give yourself about 3 months to start on that application, because that application is going to ask you to get references, reference letters, from your internship, your program, and these people aren't gonna go on your time. Everybody moves in their own time. So you're gonna need to ask these people to do this stuff like at least a month in advance. 1 to 3 months, because it's gonna take them some time to write you a letter and stuff. People be busy. So you just wanna make sure you got all your pieces together. They're gonna want you to get your transcripts. They're gonna want you to get a lot of things. Fingerprints, it's a lot. I can't really remember because it's been years since I submit the application, but it's a very depth application. It's about 20 pages. It's like information you have to fill out, information other people have to fill out. So you gotta fax them this, and then they have to send it back to you or mail it back to you. It can be a very long, tedious process. So make sure you are getting that application done in a reasonable time and passing that NCE at a reasonable time, unlike me. Don't be like me. So after your supervisor submits all that good information and you did all your hours, you are now a fully licensed clinician. And when that happens, baby, the sky is the limit. At this point, you can work anywhere. Anybody is gonna want you. You could be the director of someone's clinic. Also, insurance companies, so you can have your own relationship with companies like Cigna, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, all those companies. You can have a relationship with them. So if you want to outsource your own clients, you can say, what insurance you got? Oh, I got Cigna. Oh, cool, I work with Cigna. So they're not paying you out of pocket. Their insurance company's paying you. So of course they're gonna come see you. They're not even paying for it. So as long as they have insurance, they can see you for free or for a small copay. But you're getting a lot of money. You're getting like how much you charge. If you tell their insurance company you charge $160, they're paying you $160. I mean, be reasonable, obviously. They're not, obviously be reasonable. But that client didn't pay you nothing. So of course you're gonna get more clients once you have relationships with insurance companies. Because when you're associate licensed, yes, you can see clients, but insurance companies are not gonna feel as comfortable working with you because you're still being supervised, you're new, so they may not feel completely comfortable having a relationship with you. So the clients that you get when you are associate licensed are paying you out of pocket. And it's hard to find people who are willing to pay $110 out of pocket for a session. It's hard. It's like paying for a doctor's appointment out of pocket. Who does that? Like, people do, but typically they don't. Typically they just have their insurance take care of it. So once you become fully licensed, you can start working with these insurance companies and people will be like, oh yeah, I'll go, I'll come. Yeah, why not? She takes my insurance. I ain't got to pay nothing. So your price gonna go up, your client number gonna go up, all of that. It's lit. You don't even have to work for nobody. You can really do your own thing. So I hope that information helped you guys. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. Just leave me a comment or hit my DMs. I love interacting with y'all. Y'all are so lit. I see great things coming from you guys. I love my people who want to be therapists and who are aspiring therapists. We are going to change the world, guys. And I hope you guys are enjoying my Vlogmas so far. Leave me a thumbs up if you are. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.